T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and welcome back to another video. Well, in this video we're gonna do a little bit of a different thing. As you can see, I still have the gear here for the CLS or Creative Lighting System, and the D7200 with the SB800 and a couple of SB600 speed lights. I know that these are a little bit of a mixed bag when it comes to reviews on the internet, but for me these guys have worked a treat thus far. But more about that later. Well, due to a viewer request, I thought that I would do a little bit about my creative process, or at least I'm gonna do it probably split up a little bit. But this first one, a little bit of the hardware that I am using, so a little bit of B-roll might be implemented in this one. But anyway, first of all, you know that I'm using this Sony HDR 900 camera to do most of my video work nowadays, and it is hooked up to just this cheap little lav mic that I have here on the lapel, and yeah, you see, and it's connected directly into the camera. For a while, when I was at my previous apartment, I was using a Zoom H5, I believe it was. Still have that, a really great little audio recording device to record the audio parallel to the video work I did with the D7200. That was my primary video capturing device beforehand. Really good camera for the purpose. I know that a lot of I have heard some reviews say that it's a little bit sensitive in the red spectrum, but for me it worked a treat, and nothing you can't really manipulate in post-production. But we're gonna go into that part as well, and a little bit of a workaround. Okay. Then, as you can see, I have a couple of garage work lights, or rather construction work lights, or LED lights, and so on. That yeah, I have 4 of them to illuminate the set, if you can call it that. And yeah, they work a treat. They work for my purposes. The biggest drawback is that they are non-power adjustable. But that makes it so that you can do some DIY instead to do modifiers if you so choose, which might be something I can experiment with in the future, some color filters and so on. I know there is a YouTube review for photography gear. I can't remember his name, but I'm gonna put a link to his channel in the description below, because he has a brilliant channel and he's very good at using colored light. At least that's my opinion. But anyway, let's move on. For a long time I used this clapper, and I still use this clapboard to, you know, just show the start of the video. It was more important before to sync up video and audio for when I used an external audio recorder, but it still is good because it has this RGB and grayscale spectrum on it, so it still has a little bit of a use. But the main way I am calculating now the color temperature of this set is that I have a B-roll of it. The Sony camera actually has a setting where you can do a white balance check, so that you just press white balance and then set it, and the camera itself will take a scan of the scene in question and calculate a white balance figure from that setting. And from what I have been told, the standard now for white balance is 18% gray. That's why a lot of photographers use gray cards and color checker passports and other types of gear to do a color check for the scene. So yeah, I think that this is gonna be the part here, and now we're gonna go on and maybe do a little bit of a improvised photo shoot with these, so we have some images to process. And we're gonna go over to my workstation and see how I actually go about it, the programs that I'm currently using, maybe a little bit of what I would like to use in the future. But I think this is all for this part for now, and as always, this is Tobias Bergström from T.B.Photo X1.5 to FX, and I'd like to see you guys in the next video. And as always, please like, share, comment, and subscribe at your own leisure, and I'll see you in the next one. So take care from now on. Bye. Okay, so I'm back with a little bit of a setup reminiscence of what we did in the previous video, but the difference is that now I have the Sigma 180mm f3.5 on a tripod, and what better subject than whatever house has to spruce things up with a little bit of color and sometimes also fragrance. We have an orchid, and for this part I have a white orchid bought at, of all places, IKEA. Well, how Swedish is that? But anyway, what I have here now is a trifecta setup of SB600s. First we have the A1 with a snoot. I'm gonna try it maybe with and without a grid filter. And then we have the B1 up here that has a red filter on it, and the C1 over here with a blue filter on it. And as always, everything is controlled by the main, the SB800 up here, and for the time being, this flash, the SB800, will not give anything to the image itself. I have set the A1, the snoot, to +1 whole stop. The B1 is set to manual at 1/16th power, and the same goes for the C1. So, and actually, since this is a very telefocus macro lens, very good for insect photography and so on, I think that we're gonna focus on this flower right here. So this is the subject in question, and we're gonna see a little bit, and maybe I will go forward and so on, and we will see how close we can get to it. So yeah, let's see what we can get now. So I'm gonna focus on the center. Let's see here, I'm gonna go for f20 on this one. There we go. Oh yes. What I want to have is a straight on flash from this one, and the side ones will have a, let's see here, if I do it like so, I want to put this also, now I'm putting the A on manual, and if those are on 16, I'm gonna put the A on 1/8 and see what that gives us. So it will basically give us, oh yes, as I thought, now the A1 will completely overpower, more or less overpower the B and C, but I'm gonna try to put the grid filter on it here, so we get the snoot now with a little bit of a grid filter, and we'll see how that will change the image. Yeah, now we have a little bit of a different animal altogether, because now we have a situation where the A1 gives us a much more directional light, while the B and C are giving us a much more, what you would say, straight or rather scattered light. Let's see here, I think that if we put the blue one a little bit over here, rather if I can just fiddle it in like so, and put it like so, and maybe we can do, so I get this a little bit closer, maybe a little bit down, such, so I get it a little bit more in behind here, and the red one I want to move over as such, so I get the red a little bit more straight on to about a 45-degree compared to the snoot. And I'm gonna keep all the settings the same, but we'll see what we can do here. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, now we actually get a little bit of a different animal altogether. Let's see here. I'm gonna change the positioning of this one again. Let's see if we can do it like so. And maybe if we so still. There we go. I want it a little bit coming from underneath. So if we put it down like so, a little bit behind. There we go. Just gonna put this a little bit more forward, as such. There we go. Yeah, that's a bit of a better composition. We have two seed pods here as well, or rather flowers that haven't really come into bloom yet. So I'll put that one as such. So we get the red one, a bit of a cast here, the main light on the, let's see, something like that, and a little bit of a shadow from the blue one. That would probably do the trick. And I'm gonna go up to, this one can go to f32, just for fun, see if we can do it. Because everything is on manual, everything will be, let's see here now, we were at 20, so if I put it down to 1/4, 1/8, 1/8, now it should probably be this. Oh yes, now we have something completely different here. Let's see. I want the blue to be a little bit more in it, so let's pull that around. Put it a little bit up, put a little bit up, as such. There we go again. Yeah, I think that is what I have been looking for, but now I thought, why not just move this a bit closer, such. We will pull it over, so. Yeah, now I have a little bit of a straight on for the main flower, so we can do something like that, and probably like. If I do manual. There we go. Let's see now. Now I have a good of the two seed pods as such. So if I put this one a little bit back, coming around a bit with the blue one, taking that a little bit down, a little bit like so. Let's see here. Now we're starting to get somewhere with the type of image that I might have been looking for. Sometimes it just is the happy accidents of the chance encounters of what you are getting. So let's see, if I put this, if I go down a bit, So yeah, here we such and a little bit go down as such. Now I'm putting this on half power, so we get a little bit more now from the grid one. So I'm going to put like so. Really enjoyed this, how it's starting to turn out. Put this one a little bit like so, and a little up. Yeah, I think that would be fine. Let's see here. If I turn, I'm gonna turn up now. For now, I have everything still on manual. A is on half power, B is on 1/8 power, and C is on 1/4 power. So let's see what that would give us. Yeah, I think that here we have a little bit more now, because since I have changed the ratio so that B, the red one, is half as strong as C, we will get more blue in the image. So this is a little bit of a way to show that by twiddling the ratios of the colors, you can get some really interesting effects. So I think we're now just gonna go back for a final one on the main flower here. Let's see what we can do. Something like that, maybe. Let's see here. And a little bit of that. So. There we go. Let's see, we need to change the image up a little bit here. So if I keep that, so okay, I'm gonna keep A on 1/2 power, but B is put on 16th power and C is put on 8th power. That's really interesting. We get a very good shadow from it. Let's put that up and put it a little bit more straight on, shall we? There we go. Yeah, a grid pattern is extremely interesting to use, because this one is a fairly fine grid pattern, and yeah, I know it's a little bit loose, but it's a honeycomb grid pattern, and depending on how the size of the holes in the grid pattern, you will get a very different effect on it, because the smaller the hole, the narrower the angle of light coming through them will be. So the difference you can see from these two are that with a narrower grid pattern, you will get more directional light, and with a wider grid pattern, it becomes less directional. So it becomes more like these two that have no grid pattern at all. So I think we're going to do one final, but for that one, I'm just going to pull this closer first of all, and let's see, we're going to pull this up a bit. Try to make it as much of a true macro we can. Let's see. I'm gonna just put the focus now manually on 1:1 reproduction, and then I just need to Now we really need to put everything extremely close to the flower. Let's see if we put like so. Yep. There we go. This one will be fairly good, but we'll do it like so. Instead, I'll put it on something like that maybe. Now we are basically at a 1-to-1. Wow, yeah, I think we are getting a little bit what I am out for doing with this, but I think we're gonna need to put that down. And let's see now, let's go a little bit crazy here. A, I'm gonna put down to 1/8 power, B is gonna go up to 1/8, and C is gonna go to 1/16. Yeah, that gave us a very much of a red cast to everything. So that means that B needs to go down to 1/16 as well. And we're gonna go up to with C to 1/8. Let's see. Yeah, bingo. I think that that's more what I wanted. But let's go a little bit more crazy here, because I can just flip the lens to a vertical. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Here we go. I need to do a little bit of time selection like so. Let's see. There probably. Yeah, lock it all in, and here we go. Oh yes, just do it. Oh yeah, oh yes, here we go. That really is what I thought we could get. I mean, this image actually reminds me of when you do a endoscope examination of someone's windpipes, or a when you do a examination of someone's larynx. So yeah, really, I think that one was very good. This one will be the final one in this little episode. So actually what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go over to the computer and go through my editing process of these images in the photo editing software that I am currently using. So yeah, let's see what we are gonna do then. So this is all for me for now, so take care from now on. See you soon. Yeah. Okay, so now you're actually finding me in front of the computer, and the most important things then is pouring yourself a cup of coffee. And the first thing is that you need to, I'm just gonna put over the images that we have just taken with the D7200. I'm using here Samsung 64GB Pro Plus. These are really good cards, they have worked good for me, and I'm using this little cheap card reader, so just put it in here and let it do its thing. Yeah, it found it, and we're just gonna do a... Okay, so now you find ourselves here now in Lightroom 6, Adobe Lightroom 6. This is the actual editing software that I still actually use. It works for my applications. And now I'm actually going to begin with what you see here on the on the bar of imported files. We have these four. The first ones are actually with video files. And why am I having video files in a photo editing software? Well, there is actually a very easy workaround. If you have something like Premiere or Final Cut Pro and so on, be my guest, use those types because they're brilliant. But for someone like me, I am actually doing my my what should we say, first rendering in Lightroom actually. So if I take the video, let's see, yeah, let's have this one here. If I double click this video in the library folder, I can actually then do a little bit of a check here for me doing the pre-work here. Let's see here, something like there, where I have the spotlights and myself and so on in the image. I can actually press this little icon here and do capture image frame. I know that everything here is in Swedish, but this will be the way it is. And now you have a 1 of 2 here. So let's see here. I want to show both of them. So I I think I need to put it on here and show all images. I have some images here from an old gig I were at a couple of weeks ago that I haven't finished editing yet. But anyway, now I have a image of me setting up the spotlight. So if I go to develop, you can see here, I know that my walls here are white. So I have a little bit of a problem because here I have a window, so I get natural light seeping in, and I have these artificial lights. So what to do? Well, I know the door frame here is white as well, so I can just take the dropper tool here, color temperature, and get a little bit of a baseline as well. I think this is a little bit too cold actually, so I am actually going to warm it up. So we have a little bit like so, or maybe we're gonna just do like so. Then we can use editing as usual. So you have the histogram here. You can see I can pull up the contrast a little bit. The bright parts I'm gonna do a little bit brighter, and the shadows I want to be a little bit darker. Let's see here. I have a good white spot here because I think that's the the spotlights here, because we don't need to muck about with that. The black parts I can actually do like so. So we have a little bit more of a full spectrum, so to speak. Then we have some of my favorite 3 sliders here, the clarity, luster, and saturation. Clarity, I mean, if we're just gonna do from normal to what we can do, yeah, this is a little bit too much actually, so just a little bit to just give a little bit of a pop in the image. Luster, I really enjoy to get a little bit more of a pop, and yeah, a tiny hint of saturation. Then we have this one where you can manipulate the histogram a little bit more. Put that in the middle, and we do it like so, a little bit like so, to get a little bit of a more of a like such. And I'm gonna do it like so, something like this maybe. Yeah, this is a little bit just trial and error to see that I am getting something good in the image here. And let's see here. Yeah, and let's go down here, sharpen it up a little bit, a little bit of noise reduction. And I think this is what I'm gonna have in the beginning. So if I do like so, synchronize, like so, and yeah, we're probably gonna do it like so as well. See what we get. Now I've actually applied all of the settings I've done, I have actually applied to the movies. So if I put it like so now, okay, here we have a little bit blown out because of the window. So I can probably do like so. Yeah, that works. And let's see here. Good. I have this one as well. That's image. Okay, here we go. We're gonna take this one, exposure a little bit up, and color temperature a little bit cooler. So we can do some little adjustments here as well, but I do the main thing in the develop section. And as you can see here, this looks more blue now, so how about we take this and warm it up a bit like so. Yeah, I think this will work. Yeah, now it's just a matter of exporting these files to where we want them, and for what I'm gonna do now is just go out to video and video production and photo, create a new folder, and I think this is where I'm actually gonna export all of the video files, and you can see now it is exporting. So yeah, we're gonna do these, and then we are gonna go into the photo editing section of this video. So yeah, see you then. So yeah, in a bit, bye. Okay, so I am back with the rest. We have rendered all of the video files now, and now we're gonna go over to the images themselves. So let's go over to develop. This is the first image we took that was with just the snoot. So you can see you get the harsh light from this side here, you have a very shadow here, and just by clicking we can go into 100% and you can see how it looks. So let's go down here to noise reduction and a little bit of sharpening. Let's see here, and a bit masking. Yeah, that's basically the first parts in this one, and here you can see, oh yeah, we have fairly little chromatic aberration, since we have a side here with where black meets white. We have a good image here with very little aberration. That's good. Now we're going up to the top again, and we'll see. I think that the camera did the color temperature by itself, so I have auto white balance on the D7200, so I think that that will be good for what it is. Maybe we'll add a little bit more contrast. And the bright parts go up a bit, the darks go a little bit darker, and we have a black part and we can drive the whites up. Let's see here. Something like that. No, that's a little bit too blown up too quickly. I like this, that we can still see the texture of the floral leaves on the flower. So we can do something like that, and maybe we can do this little cheat code like so. Yeah, and now we're back on clarity. Let's see. Yeah, we can go all the way here. That's no good. Still need a little bit of the wonder as such. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on, shall we? This one we can just discard. I don't like it. And here we have the ones where we show that we have the red and the white light combined with each other, and yeah, as you can see how they change in. We'll just do the same, as you can see. Yeah, and here's the part with extreme close-up photography. As you can see, we used f11 and 185. It says ISO 100. Here's the specs on what we did with the camera, but we have a very shallow depth of field, which is the story with macro photography or extreme close-up. But anyway, we'll just do, we can do a little bit like so, and there we go. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, okay, good. And so, yeah, maybe we can just do a little bit of trickery here as well to add some contrast as such. There we go. And let's see here, we can do the red a little bit redder and have the red spectrum a little bit like so. The green can pop a little bit and so on. And then there we go. Let's get like so. Something like that. Let's see, we get it a bit lighter here because we turned down the amount of flash with the red filter. So let's see if we do something like that. Raise that, lower. So this is basically my flow when I'm working in Lightroom. A couple of things with this part here, the tonal curve. Oh, sorry. If you would just put, sometimes I would just put a point in the right in the middle and raise that a little bit. That will be a very good little tip there. Otherwise, what you can do is that you do the S curve in order to raise contrast. You can do it very, abruptly like so, but I wouldn't really. It might be good for some occasions, but sometimes I just put a dot in the middle to lock it, and then turn down the darks a little bit, and the bright part will sometimes go automatically, but yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, I think we are happy with that one. This one was a little bit overblown, I think, with the white, but no, still we have some color, and I like this when we get this type of tonal curve here, because we had from a little bit from the right part of the image we have the white light from the snoot, and from the left hand side we have the red. So I really like this with the here we have the white light with some red, and then we have more of the red here. So this one we can probably do a little bit more with as such. So a little bit up with the contrast, bright parts a little bit, so darks really go down, and we're gonna go with that one. Saturation go a bit up. Let's see, like so. And I want really the red to be red, so we're gonna do it like so. And since we have some green here as well, I want the green to pop as well. So yeah, I can do a little bit like so in the tonal curve, so with saturation, and then I don't really bother very much with the nuance, because I think that sometimes I do it for effect, but mostly it is saturation and luminance that is my tools of choice to make it really pop. So something like that, and no, there we go. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of it. Now we are turning on the blue one as well, so we get this. I really enjoyed this part here in like a tunnel, and you get the blue right in here, so to speak. So here we go. Let's see what we can do now. We're still at f11, so a little bit of noise reduction and a little bit of digital sharpening like so, a little bit of a masking. Yeah, really cool, that one. And that we have a completely black background. That's interesting. So I'm gonna put up contrast, bright parts up a little bit like so. We need black, and now I really want, maybe not really completely outblown like so. Nah, that doesn't work for me. The clarity I'm just gonna keep as it is. Let's see, luminance. Oh yes, here we can really bring it up, and a little bit more saturation, because here we have the back parts here and this part here. I really enjoy it. Let's see what we can do here. If we just do this little number as such, and maybe a little bit like so, that we even out this part a little bit. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I like this. This is very subjective how you like it, but for me this is really how I like it. I like bold colors when it comes to these types of things. So, and let's see here. Oh yeah, deepen that up a little bit. These can be a little bit lighter, and let's see what we can do. I mean, if you do like so, you can see that it starts to be, this looks nasty. So if we put it back like so, I think I'm actually quite pleased with it like so. Let's move on, shall we? Excuse me. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do for these ones, just synchronize and do so. Oh, this one became very blown out almost, so this one can do a little bit of a, do like so and so, like, let's see now here. A little bit like that, and put that one there. Okay, I think that really cleaned it up nicely. Yeah, let's see. have a very dark here. Sometimes if you want, you can use the brush tool like so, and do something like this, I would suspect. Yeah, and yeah, this is a little bit of the advanced features you can use in Lightroom in order to make it a bit more pop. So you can see in here like it's like a tunnel. So there we go. Sorry, let's go back here. There we go. I actually like the dark here with the blue coming like this for the as a rim light. Yeah, I think that these will be good as is. And now we're starting to look at the seed pods. As you can see, we still have the blue. You can see it in the tunnel here, back of the flower, and the seed pods, or what you want to call it. Yeah, here we go. Let's go a little bit. I want to actually, maybe, nah. No, I think this will be good as is. Now we're actually at F32, so here we go. Let's do a little bit like so. Yeah, now I'm actually going the opposite way here. We can do the high parts are going to be toned down a little bit, and the shadows are pulled up a bit. So let's see here. We need a black part, and still there. Actually, I'm going to turn down contrast now, actually, because I want this to be still visible. And maybe shadows up down a little bit. Yep, clarity. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Oh yeah, here we go. Such. High parts a little bit down. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. Well, a little bit more of the same. I think that this one we might do something like this. Shadows a little bit up, this one a little bit down. Clarity. Like this when, let's see, we go from the red here to the more natural light, so on, and we get the blue casts and so on. Let's see, like so, like there. A lot of editing, in my opinion, is just to make it look like you want it to be and what you think looks good. Now I want this one to be a little bit more you know, yes. I think this is all I want it to be, a little bit like so. Yeah, there you go. I think we have a little bit of a blemish there. There we go. That's it. And let's see. Well, now we're going more straight on here. We don't have all it in extremely sharp or so, but for this, like so, it works. We have a blemish here. Yeah, we have a little bit of a blemish. So, good. And a little bit of contrast. High parts, lows. There we go. No. No, I'm actually going to keep that as is. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. I don't know if I'm gonna show all of them because I think that you might just fall asleep seeing me doing all of this type of deal over and over again, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna continue editing these because you can see basically how I'm doing it, and we'll probably have a little bit of a slideshow in the end of the video with all of this. I'm doing a little bit of quick editing here. No, that one can just go. Take it away. Good. There we go. Something like that. This one is a little bit overblown, maybe. Like so. A little bit like that. Yeah, something like that. I think we're just gonna go to this one that is basically what I thought. Well, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a tiny edit on this one because I think this one became exactly like I wanted it. Fairly symmetrical, you get all of it in focus, and I think this basically looks like when you do a larynx medical procedure. Let's see here. Now let's get that back. A little bit of contrast, a little bit of clarity. Let's see here what we can do. Yeah, there we go. This looks a bit better. Yes. Okay. Let's see, we put these up a little bit. And the blue one. Here. Yeah, I think that I'm just gonna continue with doing these, and I'll see you in the end of the video. Or rather, I think this will be all for me for now, and I will just continue editing these, and we'll see what the results are in the end. So take care from now on.